Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. When we look at our horoscopes, when we look at our different placements of planets, we want to understand all the planets, we want to understand the strengths of the planets, we also want to understand the weaknesses or the challenges or the opportunities each of the planetary energies bring to us. And in that, we try and focus most on those planets which seem to be the ones which are exalted, placed strong, our Lagna Lord, our 7th Lord, our 10th Lord. So most of the time our focus is more towards material benefits or those placements or those areas which may take us on a materialistic journey and give us more prosperity or abundance. That's why career, 10th Lord gets into the focus, 7th Lord gets into the focus because it's about relationships. And most of the questions that I generally get or most of the astrologers get is around career, money, finance, relationship. So we try and understand those areas most. However, those areas which get not so much attention are the ones where we don't want to look so strongly, because generally those are about giving up or losing or abandoning or doing a penance for, and that placement is that of Ketu. One reason why we may also not try to understand so much about Ketu is about the reason being is Rahu takes away our focus. Rahu makes us focus towards those areas which will keep us engaged on a materialistic journey, because that's what Rahu's job is. Ketu is the silent internal voice which keeps telling us that this is wrong, you should not be doing this, this is not ethical, this is not moral, this is not good for you, this could be damaging for you, this could be unethical, this could be illegal. But we subdue that voice thinking that it's okay, there's not a big problem, I can handle this, I've got this covered. So we subdue the deeper meaning, the higher meaning of Ketu in a horoscope, firstly by not giving it any attention, secondly by ignoring the internal voice also, which Ketu's energies, the spiritual energy of Ketu tries to manifest itself through. And in that could be a biggest loss. Why it could be a biggest loss? Because what is about our lives? Our lives are for a certain purpose, to be able to serve humanity in a certain way, in a certain light, in a certain manner, in a certain area, and our placements according to that purpose of life which is given to us, that journey which we need to go on, the trajectory. However, what do? We don't look at the purpose of our lives, we don't look at the deeper meaning of our lives, we don't look at what is the area that we need to manifest most in, which we need to serve most in, where we need to give back most to humanity. And through serving that humanity, serving the supreme energy, the supreme Lord, whatever you may want to call Brahman, Allah, whatever you may want to call it. But because we defocus or we move our focus away, we focus on the materialistic desires, that voice that keeps telling us from inside, keeps warning us from inside, we keep subduing. So somewhere it will be able to manifest itself in such a manner which we may not like, because the warning has been given to us again and again and again. It is like the boss which keeps telling us that please get your act right, or a spouse who tells us, see, get your act right, or authorities telling us, get your act right, fill in your taxes, or please pay these fines. So Ketu is that voice before that outside voice tells you, before the legal authority comes in, the internal voice is Ketu. The external voice which comes from the legal authorities is where Saturn is acting, the karmic equalizer is acting. Saturn gives Ketu an opportunity to be able to correct you before Saturn comes in. And Ketu can be a larger punishment, even a bigger punishment than Saturn. Saturn is a slow grind. If Saturn wants to take away your assets, Saturn will do it slowly over a period of time and maybe through years. Ketu, if you look at the image of Ketu, it's a deity which is headless but which has a very sharp object in his hand. So that sharp object is like one big blow, one sudden blow which cuts you off. So Ketu in sudden blow may take away a lot from your existence, from your life, through your assets, through relationships also, through health also. Saturn is the slow grind. Now some people may feel that if you want to take something away from me, take it away from me immediately rather than go through a slow grind. But at least when you're going through a slow grind, you have an opportunity of trying to resist, trying to do something. Whether you're able to do it or not is a secondary thing. But with the sudden acts which things are taken away from you, there is not much you can do. So it is like a note which is left on your bed or near your bed. You have not been heeding what your spouse has been telling you, and she has not even been telling you, I'm going to leave. Suddenly you find a note, I'm gone. So it is that kind of a sudden final decision which is given to you in your face, that this is no more. And that's how Ketu acts, because Ketu is the spiritual voice from inside of you. Of course, Ketu is the planet of negation. Ketu is negating you certain results, because Ketu is also the Dhwaja, the flag. When you conquer a fort, you put your flag on top of the fort. So Ketu is about a certain area of your life which you have already conquered. You have already been there, done that, and you have enjoyed the pleasures of that area of life. You have got whatever you needed from that area. Your soul is completely satisfied, satiated with that area, yet you are keep focusing on that area. So Ketu, the planet of negation, keeps reminding you that this area in your life is not for you to be able to benefit from in this life. This is where you need to give up. This is where you need to give up most, and this is your spiritual energy. This is your spiritual responsibility. Rahu is what is your worldly responsibility, where you need to do that for the world, to leave a legacy behind. Ketu is your spiritual responsibility which you need to play out and you need to serve. And your spiritual responsibility is to lighten the soul. How do you lighten the soul? By not carrying things on yourself. The more things that you carry on your shoulder through a backpack or many things, that much slowly you walk, that much slowly you will be able to tread. But if you have very few things in your hand, on your body, then you can walk faster. So the spiritual ascension happens only when the spirit feels light, and the spirit will feel light when the moral authority that you have been able to serve through that moral authority, through an ethical behavior, through a moral behavior, by not carrying negative karma on you. If you're carrying negative karma on you, on yourself, by lying, by cheating, by manipulating, so that you benefit materialistically in this life, then there is a lot of karmic burden on you. There is a negative karmic spiritual burden on you. Then the spirit cannot elevate easily, and so Ketu wants to negate that. And if you have already been there, done that, you need to give it to others. If you have earned a lot of name, fame in this world, then in this lifetime you may not get that name, fame. Especially, for example, if Ketu is placed in the Lagna, it would be very difficult for you to get huge name, fame in this life. Especially if Ketu is also Vargottama, which means in your Lagna also it is in the ascendant, in the first house as well as in the Navmansh. So you need to validate the placement of Ketu, especially where Ketu is in the Lagna, that placement, and when Ketu is in the 11th house. All placements of course you need to validate, but these places become very, very important when Ketu gets into the Lagna and Ketu gets into the 11th house. Why? Because then Ketu is here screaming at you, telling you in your face that this life is for others. You need to devote it to others. Why 11th house? Because 11th house is the house of societal responsibilities, giving back to society, doing more for society and living for society. And only when you dedicate your life to society or for larger spiritual causes or even worldly causes, but for others, does the spiritual ascension happen. So wherever Ketu is placed in your horoscope, you may be denied a lot of benefits from that house, you may be negated benefits of that house, you may not be able to profit most from it, but in fact if you try to profit more from it, more and more may be taken away from you. For example, if Ketu is in the second house, you may get good income, you may get good livelihood at the start, or you may struggle a bit. However, if you don't give back using that money that you are getting, using that earning that you're getting to give to society also, to do for others also, then you will find over a period of time the income gets dried up. If, for example, Ketu is in the 7th house and then you're not true to the relationship, you don't believe in doing more for the spouse because you've already enjoyed in your earlier innings getting the maximum of from your relationship, from your partnership. So in this life, if you're not ready to give more, to serve more, then slowly Ketu will give you that internal voice keeps telling you through those small challenges which happen in your relationship, from that little bit of annoyance which is happening in your relationship. So these are small pointers towards you. Ketu is telling you, and then there is also an internal voice, the voice of your conscience, which keeps reminding you, maybe this is not right, maybe I need to apologize, maybe I need to do more, maybe I'm not correct, maybe I need to give more time, maybe I need to look after my spouse more. All these things may be pointers to you. However, we may completely subdue those voices, we may not be ready to listen to those voices. Then what happens? One fine day, we get the notice that boss, enough is enough, things are not working out, or we need to talk. That kind of a dialogue happens. So before you get to that situation, understand the placement of Ketu, the meaning, the higher meaning of Ketu, the spiritual meaning of Ketu, the internal voice, the voice of the conscious, which is telling you that please look at this area as an area of giving more, doing more for others. Same thing about whichever planet Ketu is placed in, whichever house Ketu is placed in, whichever sign Ketu is placed in. All that is manifesting, telling you for this area you need to do more, give more to others. If Ketu is in the 10th house, then in your career you need to choose a field where you are able to give more. Even if you have chosen a career where you get more, then most of whatever you're getting out of your career, you will have to do more for others, not only for your immediate family and for yourself. If you're getting a good name, fame, designation, use that power, use that authority, use that money to be able to give back more for society. Don't leave all the money for your children, don't leave everything for your spouse, or try to make their life the best. Try to make your hereafter life the best by being able to raise good children, have a good relationship with your spouse, but also inculcating good values in your children. Especially if Ketu gets into the 5th house, you may not get a lot of benefit from your romantic life, from your speculative investments, even from your children, which means here you need to be able to give back more. If Ketu gets placed in the 5th house, you need to raise your children who are very ethical, who are very moral, and who can do more for society. Children who raise up with strong values, and you let them be, you let them touch on their own life. Don't expect much from them, because you may not get as much benefits from your children as you expect maybe from them. If Ketu gets into the 9th house, then you may find that you may not be able to get the most of out of your educational qualification. Many times that educational qualification may not be of good use to you. There, the meaning of Ketu is that in your earlier innings you have already been there, done that, you have already used the higher learning, which means you need to get the higher spiritual learning in this life. You need to get the learning from the experiences that you have gone through in your life, and then gain higher learning from that. There is a deeper meaning to why certain challenges you have faced in your life. Understand the deeper meaning of why those challenges have come to you. Understand what responsibility you have which you have been ignoring, because of which those challenges may have come to you, and understanding that, getting that higher learning, be able to do more. And that is what the placement of Ketu in the 9th house means, a higher spiritual learning that you need to attain so that you can give back. Especially because Ketu's placement in the 9th house is 12th to the 10th house. So wherever Ketu is placed, it's important that what is the 2nd house from it, because you should be able to do more for that, and that area will gain most from the act of giving up and doing more for others. If Ketu is in the 12th house, then your Lagna benefits most from it. What does it mean? Why is it said that Ketu in the 12th house is almost a strong placement of moksha? There is no guarantee. However, why is it said? Because then the gains of a planetary placement is second to it, the gains of any placement. So through the act of giving up, which the 12th house denotes, the Lagna, the self also attains higher spiritual meaning, higher spiritual elevation. So understand the meaning of Ketu in your horoscope. It is not only about negation, it is not only about giving up, it is also the internal spiritual voice which is screaming at you that you need to do more for others, that you need to live for others, what your purpose of life is, where your focus should be, where you should leave a strong legacy behind, where you should leave a strong example behind, how you should be able to get the most from your life spiritually rather than materialistically. If you ignore that voice, then Ketu will come at you and very stronger. That's why people dread the Ketu Dasha, people dread the Ketu Antardasha, because Ketu makes you pay. If you have not been true to the internal voice, the voice of your conscience and responsibilities, being accountable. And mind you, Ketu also co-rules the sign of Scorpio along with Mars. Ketu is a stronger Scorpio energy than Mars. Mars is a stronger Aries energy. 8th house energy, Scorpio energies are the energies of transformation. Ketu is one planetary entity which can transform your life completely if you don't heed the internal voice which keeps talking to you. So while it is time, understand the meaning of Ketu stronger in your horoscope. Deep dive into your horoscope. Understand Ketu's placement. Understand what signs it is in. I've already done videos about Ketu's conjunctions with different planets, Ketu's placement in different houses and signs. Go through those videos also. But my suggestion to you is, look at your life so far, whatever you have done, what mistakes you have done, what misses you have had, and where you feel you have not focused, where opportunity was given to you. If you have been given a strong intellect, have you used your intellect well? If you have been given very good health, have you used your health very well? If you have got birth in a good family, then have you used the family lineage, the family's material wealth to your advantage to be able to do well? If you have got a good career, if you have got a good designation, have you used that to give back more to others? So delve deep dive, understand that very well, and at least now look at how you can utilize that Ketu energy, the voice of your conscience, the spiritual voice which is telling you where you need to focus better, so that in this life it is not a life of misses so much, but it is a life of higher spiritual achievement, higher spiritual elevation, because in the end that's what you are here for, higher spiritual elevation. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.